Okay, we're live. Oh, hold on, that's spoilers. Okay, we're live. Welcome back to another live stream. It's good to do these regularly. But today we're going to be ranking, of course, upcoming Spidey projects. So you guys chose this. I ran a poll on the channel, and you guys chose that we rank this today. So this is live. If you're watching this back, like listening to it or whatever, then make sure to watch out for the polls, because dates will be there for the next live streams and so on and so forth, if you want to get involved. I'm going to share the live stream around, just as I always do, sort of before we get started, and wait for a few people to get in here, and then we'll get straight into the ranking. It's going to be interesting. I gave a little spoiler just now at the start of the stream there. But yes, it should be a good stream. I'm hoping for a good stream. Let's have a look then. Streaming now. Where's the web emoji? There's the web emoji. Okay. Okay. Let me just share around. As I always do at the start of the stream. A bit of a technical issue here, actually. What's going on? Is my streaming thing not working? We're not getting why is that not working? I feel like my internet is down. I think my internet is down. Is it down? It's not good. I'm not getting any oh, this is annoying. Everything's broken. Oh no. Oh, that's the new show. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway. Ah, wait. My OBS is broken. Everything's broken. I can't see the feed going through onto YouTube. YouTube isn't even saying I'm live. See, I don't even know if anyone's here. I can't see. Oh, there's some technical difficulties going on right now. There's some mad technical difficulties going on right now. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna have to bear with me. If you are watching, I can't see the chat. I can't see anything right now. It's we're in a bit of a sticky situation, pun intended. I don't know if you guys can see the feed. YouTube's not even saying I'm live. which is fantastic. And my OBS feed isn't working either. So yeah, it tells me I'm dropping everything. Right, well, I'm gonna have to end the stream, come back, and then obviously and then see if I can fix whatever this is. I'm just dropping everything. Everything was set up, and then for some reason I pressed go, and then everything's just completely broken on me. Okay, right. Well, maybe back in a second if I can fix whatever. Okay, we're back. We're back. Okay. I'm thinking potentially this could be sorted now. I think. If YouTube is being good to me, we're back. Okay? If YouTube's being good to me, we're back. Okay, so I can see Danilo is in the chat. And he was asking questions and I didn't see any of them. So I'm sorry, Danilo, if you're here. That was so annoying. That was so annoying, but we're back. Maybe, you know what? I might have confused people here. If people have dipped in and just seen me having a meltdown, maybe they're like, maybe this is not a good time. But we're back, so hopefully we can crack on now. Okay. So, today we're going to be doing ranking the upcoming Spider-Man projects tier list. Okay. So it's going to be stuff like Brand New Day. We're going to have Beyond the Spider-Verse, Marvel Spider-Man 3, that kind of good stuff, right? That's what we're going to be doing. Okay. Right. I'm going to quickly... Okay, so hopefully whatever was going on has fixed itself. Okay. See, whatever hopefully is going on has fixed itself. Let's hope. You see, it's doing it again. I'm dropping just so much in OBS. And I feel like I can't... I go onto YouTube, it doesn't even say I'm live. It's like the stream doesn't exist. It's like it's not connecting with YouTube. I don't know if that's not putting it out there. Like Danilo obviously got through before. I don't even know. Danilo says, I see you. Okay, wait, no. Okay, Danilo isn't here. Okay, right, okay. Okay, so it must be working. Okay, I'm live. Okay, wait, okay, we're working. We are working. We're live. Okay, awesome. Sorry, technical difficulties. OBS is telling me my stream ain't working and it ain't going through to YouTube, so I don't know what's going on. Either way, let's get into this, shall we? So, we've got Danilo in here, which is all that matters at the moment. So, we're going to be doing a tier list, essentially, on upcoming Spider-Man projects. Now, the way this is going to work is, essentially, let's start with Brand New Day. On the tier list from S to D, where are you most excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day? Like, where would you put Spider-Man Brand New Day on this tier list in terms of excitement? Right, that's what we're going to do. And I guess you can also say where potentially you think it's going to be, like, quality-wise. So for me, if you guys want to put in the chat where you think it, where you put Spider-Man Brand New Day. Personally, I put Spider-Man Brand New Day in S. I don't see how else we can, right? Fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, so obviously it's going to go in S. Danilo says S. Hi, cool man, how we doing? Hopefully we're all good. Welcome to the stream. Spider-Man, so we're ranking, like I just mentioned, we're ranking these on excitement, or how good we think they're gonna be. Angel Flaws says S. Okay, so we're good now, and also OBS is telling me we're good. Okay, we're good. So we're all good. We're in the stream. We're all good. So of course, Spider-Man Brand New Day is gonna be an S. Why else wouldn't it be, right? You know, you've got this is the 4th Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Why are we? Yo, Ahmad, how are we doing? Why are we excited for Brand New Day? Tell me in the chat. I'm actually curious to hear what Ahmad thinks about this. We're ranking on excitement for the upcoming Spider-Man projects. Some of them rumored, some of them definitely confirmed. Where would we put? 4th Films of Charm, says Danilo. Definitely, right? Yeah, it's got to go in S. I'm simply so excited. I do have my very slight worries with it, though. And I think with all these characters coming in, and I don't know what you guys think about this, so let me know in the chat, but with all of these new characters coming in, I kind of am worried that maybe it might be a little bit too stuffy. I hear a lot of them are going to be in montages, so as you guys know, I'm all over the news when it comes to Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm all up in that. So, you know, I've heard from countless sources that you know, a montage is going to happen at the start of the film. That's what they were filming in Glasgow. So maybe a bunch of these character announcements that we're hearing about Rhino potentially being in the film, hopefully that is just sort of a cameo. Brand New Day easily is the best and most accurate live action Spidey suit. 100%. Everyone's saying S. I think we can all agree. Where are we putting Beyond the Spider-Verse? What are we saying about Beyond the Spider-Verse? Is that also S? Would we say? I don't know. I think personally, I think for me, I don't know. I think it has to be S, right? I put it in S, but I'm still cautious because MCU Spider-Man can be so inconsistently written. Hopefully, it's not messy. That's the only thing that's catching me out, Ahmad. Danilo says S. Yeah. Where are we putting Beyond the Spider-Verse? S also, says Angel Flaws. Okay. Let me know if the stream goes down or it gets laggy at some point, by the way, because I'm getting weird feedback from OBS right now. I'm going to have to put Beyond the Spider-Verse above Brand New Day, says Cool Man. Cham the Artist, hey everyone, sorry I'm late. There's a jungle out there. I had to beat an old lady with a stick to join this live stream. I love the reference. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put Beyond the Spider-Verse in front of Brand New Day. And it's going to be an S. And the reason, and I think Cool Man is right, and Danilo's right as well, Evil Miles is going to go crazy. And I think the thing is with this is, I think Ahmad touched on it as well, is that MCU Spider-Man, I think there's a chance that movie might not be as great as we potentially think it's going to be, which could suck, but also I think there's more of a chance that Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to be really good. Which excites me more, right? The Spider-Verse films are my goats, but I'm not feeling the hype for some reason. I'd put it in 8. Oh, okay. Okay, Ahmad, that's interesting. Why don't you feel the hype? That is interesting. That is very interesting. I don't know with Beyond the Spider-Verse. I think Across the Spider-Verse was that good, and I think Into the Spider-Verse was that good. That I don't know. I think maybe it's too far away to tell, but I'm very much like, yeah, I'm gassed for Beyond the Spider-Verse. Okay, next one on the list. Marvel Spider-Man 3. Right, not 2, but Marvel Spider-Man 3. Okay, where are we putting Marvel Spider-Man 3 on this tier list? Out of excitement. See, I might have a quite controversial take on this one. I think I might have a very controversial take. I'll see what you guys say first, but I think I've got a very controversial take. I'm not sure, might just be because of how far away it is. Yep, that might be the case for Beyond the Spider-Verse, definitely. My controversial take on Marvel Spider-Man 3 is I think 2 has kind of... I think 2 kind of diminished it a little bit for me. 2 is not a bad game at all, in my opinion. But I think they chose, especially in the third act, they chose sort of doing that fan servicey sort of like Oh, look, it's the anti-venom suit. Oh, look, it's shock factor here, shock factor there. Mr. Negative does this. Miles does this. Adidas suit, Venom with wings, anti-venom, da-da-da-da-da-da. Rather than, let's make a good game, man. And I think a lot of people, resent Venom as well. It was a large part of that third act. Venom felt very rushed. Kraven was a fantastic character. Yeah, I get what you mean, says Danilo. A or B for Marvel Spider-Man 3 says Cham. Marvel Spider-Man 3B says Ahmad. Not only that, but there's a lot more work being put into Spider-Verse than in Brand New Day. Animation is hard. It's just going to be gorgeous. I agree, cool, man. I think that's probably why I'd put it in above Brand New Day. So for me, I'm going to put it in B, which is actually quite controversial. And I think because, I mean, don't get me wrong. When gameplay starts coming out and, you know, we start getting trailers and we start getting all that kind of good stuff, I guarantee we're all going to be on our hands and knees for this game. We will be, because Green Goblin's going to be in it, potentially Superior Spider-Man, potentially Carnage. So, you know, I'm sure it'll be fun to play, but I don't really like the story of Marvel Spider-Man 2, so I erased a lot of my excitement for this iteration. That's fair, Ahmad, yeah. I think we're going to be all gassed. My question is to you guys, though. I want you to be honest. Do you think Marvel Spider-Man 3 will be better than 2? And if so, do you think it will be on the level of Marvel Spider-Man 1? Or do you think it's going to be sort of like somewhere in between? Because I'm interested. Because Marvel Spider-Man 1 did very well. Marvel Spider-Man 2, I think, in the story sort of area, didn't. Marvel Spider-Man 3, could it bring it back? Who knows? Potentially. Potentially, yeah. I don't know. I think it could. Possibly, says Delino. I think, in my opinion, it depends on how they handle the Green Goblin, I think. Because that Goblin is coming. Goblin is coming. But it depends how they handle him. Which, yeah, I don't know. They could screw it up. They screwed up Venom, I think. A lot of people would say. I think it'll be somewhere in between, says Danilo. I don't even have access to the Spider-Man games. The only thing I get to enjoy from them is the video game cutscene movies they put on YouTube. They are, to be fair, if you watch the cutscene movie versions, they, you know, that's a pretty good picture of, but the games are brilliant to play, though. Okay, Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. Any more comments about Marvel Spider-Man 3? I'll come back to, obviously, as well, if you guys are still typing. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. Now, this is not quite on the level of Brand New Day and Across the Spider-Verse. I think it's more... You know what? I don't even really know where to put it. I think, for me, another controversial take, I think in B. But above Marvel Spider-Man 3. I think in B. Now, you guys know I'm a sucker for this show. However, I think there's so much of an unknown about Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2. And I think it takes a level of expectation to be really excited about something. And because we know absolutely nothing about it, and I think Season 1 left us with more questions than we had answers, I don't really know. Like, I wasn't too impressed with Norman at the end. Spider-Gwen, I don't even know how they're going to fit her in if they want to keep the character grounded. You know, it was a good show, but I'm a little bit on the cautious side with this one. I'm a bit mixed on the story for Spidey 2, but if they really take the time with the third game, because the second one felt kind of rushed. Champ, spot on, I think, yeah. I think they also said they were making a Spider-Punk movie as well, says Danilo. I haven't put that on here, actually. I defended the show a ton before it came out. Season 1 killed my excitement for the show. Why, though, I'm curious to know why. Yeah, I think it's in a B for me. And the thing is, I was one of the people that really liked the first season. But after seeing what they're going to do with the second season, I'm not entirely overwhelmed. Because, you know, it might end up being the Spider-Verse, and I'm not entirely sure that's the right direction. When we're close to getting it in the games. You know, we're one side mission away from having a Spider-Verse section. We've got Spider-Verse movies. We've had Spider-Verse in the live action movies. We've got the multiverse in the MCU. Like, I'm tired. It's a fun show, and I'm excited to see how it continues, but I'm not, like, dying for it. So it's cool, man. That's fair, right? Now, what about Silk Spider Society? This show, which is currently on hold, so it's not cancelled, but it's on hold, waiting to be picked up. This show, I'm going to put it in A. Might surprise a few people, but I did take some time last year to read some of the Silk comics beyond what Dan Slott did with the character, which, God, I'm glad we're not adapting that. And you know what? She's a really good character. She really is. And if that's going to be anything like this show, I'm excited. I'm really excited. A or B tier possibly, says Danilo. I just feel like it had everything that I don't like about modern Spider-Man, says Ahmad. That's fair. Knowing Spider-Gwen is happening kind of makes me less excited. I kind of felt that. Like, I kind of just hoped it was going to be normal Gwen Stacy. Deep down. There's possibilities that could be cool. But I think deep down, I was kind of like... I was kind of bummed. Like, it's a rare... You know what's actually kind of mad, in my opinion? What I think is kind of mad, and you guys might agree with this, is we get Spider-Gwen more often than we get Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy, just Gwen Stacy, normal Gwen Stacy, is a rarity in Spider-Man adaptations. And ironically, in the comics, she isn't. She's everywhere in the comics, and that's the place where she doesn't need to be. But in adaptations, she's not. And maybe there's an element of, well, everyone knows that she dies, so we don't put Gwen in things anymore, which is fair enough. I get that, and I've made videos on that specific dilemma that they have. But we don't see Gwen anymore. Like, we just don't. We see Spider-Gwen. Silk is meh for me. I haven't seen her in anything other than the comics, and I don't even read the comics. I thought that show was cancelled or something. It's on hold. It's not cancelled, but Silk's going to be Marvel Spider-Man 3 as well. Hey, I love your Spider-Man vids. Oh, thanks, Duncan Gamer. I appreciate that. Can't wait for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Me too. Well, we put it in S tier. Would you put it in S tier? That's the question. But Silk definitely A for me. Silk definitely A. Because I'm excited. I'm not quite S level, but it's an A. The Spider-Gwen movie. Or the Spider-Woman movie. So they're making... So there's supposedly a spin-off. There's supposedly a spin-off, an animated spin-off of the Spider-Verse franchise that's going to focus around Spider-Gwen. This has been in Sony's locker for a few years now. It's supposedly meant to be coming out after Beyond the Spider-Verse, but not much more has been said other than that. Not excited for Spider-Gwen, but I'm kind of hyped for Season 2 of Your Friendly Neighbor Spider-Man, especially with potential for Pete's dad. That's also true. That's another thing that they are doing, which could be cool. But that's another thing of the unknown. Surprised that the MCU Spider-Man is the only modern Spider-Man adaptation that hasn't thrown in multiple Spider people. You know, I agree. I think that's crazy they haven't attempted that yet. You know, try to do a Spider-Gwen in the MCU. Interesting indeed, says Danilo. So, this, I think... I'm between bottom of A and top of B. Because I think what we've got in the Spider-Verse movies for Gwen Stacy is perfect. She was by far the best character, in my opinion, in Across the Spider-Verse. And I think if they continue that through to Beyond the Spider-Verse, I think Gwen's character is going to be amazing. So I think her character was great in those movies. And I don't specifically think we need an adaptation again, or a spin-off, should I say. And if it is, then it's got to be a story that's different. Because obviously... the story that we got in Across the Spider-Verse was very much her origin story. The classic one from the comics, and they're not going to retread that. So I don't know. I'm sort of curious, but I'm not too sure. I agree. We don't even see regular Gwen Stacy anymore. I love Spider-Gwen, and I love to see her in anything, but I miss regular Gwen. I'm glad, though. Wait for Peter to get older in the MCU before introducing someone like Miles. I agree. They confirmed a Spider-Gwen live action. No, it's animated. It's meant to be a spin-off of the Spider-Verse movies. It's in the back burner of Sony's locker. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's meant to be happening. We don't know when as of yet, but I'm sort of around here. I'm skeptical. In fact, I'll go top of B because I'm skeptical. I am. Right, Spider-Man Noir. Right, okay, so this is the Nicolas Cage thing, already done filming. A lot of people don't know this is happening. I talk to a lot of people, even in the community, and people don't really even know this is happening. Where would you guys rank Spider-Man Noir on this list? I'm a gamer. I would put Spider-Man 3 in S, personally. Spider-Man 2 came out. I beat it in a day. And I got platinum all the same weekend. Wow, that is impressive, the Duncan Gamer. That is impressive. We only put it here because I think in comparison to the other Spidey projects, 2 kind of lacked a little bit. So, just like the Spider-Punk movie, right? Yeah, so like the Spider-Punk movie, which I forgot to add onto this list, which is really annoying. I should have added it on. We'll put the Spider-Punk movie and Spider-Gwen sort of in one category. But like the Spider-Punk movie, yeah. It's meant to be a spin-off of the Spider-Verse movies. True, the whole Spider-Gwen thing kind of feels similar to how DC prioritizes Harley Quinn a lot more. Noir is so fire. A or B could be cool. B tier for now, but we'll see how it goes. Is Silk also animated? Silk is meant to be live action, from what I believe. Spider-Noir can go top of B. I've put a lot in B. I need to separate them a little bit, I think. Do I put Marvel Spider-Man 3 in C? No, I can't do that. I put Noir in A. Yeah, I am excited. Well, I'm not being true then. I'd put it in B, I think. Yeah, I'd probably say A for Spider Noir, says Cham the Artist. I'm excited for it, but can I be really honest with you guys? I'm gonna be honest, and I might get a bit of stick for this, but I don't really find the noir comics that interesting. I don't know if just my brain rotted brain can't stand the black and white, but that might be the case. No, it's not the case. I don't find them that interesting, because if I want to watch a Detective Spider-Man, and maybe I've read the wrong ones, I've only read a few. But if I want to watch a Detective Spider-Man, I'll read Batman. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive. If anyone can give me a reason to read Spider-Man Noir, if anyone's got a good noir, run, I just haven't come across one that has really stood out to me in the long run. You know, as I'm reading them, I'm going, oh, this is pretty cool. But then I never end up going back to it. I think it's more of a personal thing. Unless I'm just reading the wrong ones. I don't know. I'm sure Ahmad will know as well. He's a big comic guy in the chat. Maybe he'll know. But that's just my opinion on it. You guys sort of seem to agree with the A or B. Potentially. B for me. I think seeing the set photos, it looks cool. But we'll see anyway. Okay, so the Spider-Woman movie. So this, for those of you who don't know, this is meant to be directed by Olivia Wilde, currently still on hold, I believe. But it hasn't been cancelled officially, not like El Muerto. This is Olivia Wilde's live-action Spider-Woman movie. It's not confirmed what Spider-Woman it'll be, but we think it's Jessica Drew. There's been rumours that potentially it might be one of the Spider-Women from Madam Web. But we believe it's Jessica Drew. So, yeah. I've never been a big Spider-Man Noir fan either, but I think the show looks well made, says Ahmad. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at the moment. Do you think they'll introduce Miles into the MCU, a new Spider-Man in Spider-Man 6, and kill off Peter? I would want to see him fight the Sinister Six in that movie. Possibly. I think they definitely will introduce Miles at some point. Hey, Lewis says, codename Jiu-Jitsu. Hello, welcome to the chat. Spider-Man Noir looks accurate, but I'm not watching it. It should have been a movie, not a show, being slapped on some streaming service. That's a fair opinion. Jessica Drew most likely, says Danilo. It most likely will be Jessica Drew. This, I'm skeptical. Very, very skeptical. And I put it in C. Nothing against the character, nothing against Olivia Wilde, but tell me if I'm wrong. This has got Madam Web, Kraven the Hunter, the Venom trilogy, Sony written all over it. Has it not? Has it not got just Sony Pictures in the last 10 years written all over it? Has it not? And I was really excited for Madam Web. I really was. I couldn't tell you why. I think it was because I grew up with Madam Web in the 90s cartoon, and I thought, well, Madam Web was like it's like a personal favorite character of mine. And I was like, you know what? This movie could actually be pretty good. And I heard the leaks about it being a time travel sort of thing, where they have to, it's like a Terminator-style Spider-Man movie. I was like, it sounds really cool. And then I was severely disappointed. So I'm reserved for whatever Sony Pictures does. Yeah. I don't think noir is big enough to carry a movie, but a show works. What do you think is going to happen in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse? I couldn't tell you, but I know whatever they're cooking they're cooking good. They've made possibly 2 of the best superhero movies ever made. I am 100% putting faith in them. I'm more of a fan when Peter and Miles coexist, so we can see the mentor-student relation more than killing off Peter. I think there's Codename. I agree. I think there's a fine balance. I think their coexistence could be in like sort of a 4-week to 6-month window. I don't think they should coexist for years and years on end. I think that starts to then chip away and take away from Peter's character and Miles's character. Because if Peter's still around doing all what he's doing, then Miles doesn't get to progress. And if Miles starts doing loads of stuff, then it kind of interferes with what Peter does, and you can't have one with it, and then it's a whole mess, right? So I think there's a situation that Marvel Spider-Man have found themselves in a little bit. It worked with the symbiote story because obviously Peter then turns into the bad guy and you have Miles. But for me personally, I think I'd have it where it's like, oh, he's Miles' mentor for maybe a month, maybe 6 months, and then he eventually gets killed off or something. I don't know. I think there's a fine balance there potentially, because I do like that sort of passing the torch. I didn't even know Spider-Man was it was greenlit by Sony in 2020. So 5 years ago. It was 2021. It was a few years ago, but it's now on hold. It hasn't been officially cancelled like El Muerto pretty much has, because Bad Bunny left the project. Yes, it was greenlit by Sony. I don't even know where they're at with that. I want to see at least one movie that they're together, Miles and Peter. I think they will in Spider-Man 6. Honorable mention for the cancelled Spider-Verse video game. Oh yeah, I wish I could put that on here. Do you think Tom's trilogy will end with him retiring or dying? Now here's the thing. I think it'd be perfect if he died. And I think Tom would want the character to die so he didn't have to come back again. But personally, I think they're going to keep it open-ended just in case Marvel does another massive multiversal crossover thing in like 10-20 years, and then they do a Michael Keaton's Batman and they say, Tom, we'll pay you $20 million to come and play Spider-Man again in an Avengers movie, or a Miles Morales movie, or a Mayday Parker movie, for example, right? And then he ends up coming back. I think that's what would happen. I don't think they'll kill him because of that reason. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think to end MCU Peter's story and hand the torch to Miles, they should take the 90s Clone Saga route and have Peter lose his powers and retire. Ah, that could be interesting. They'd have to do that. They'd have to handle that well, though. I think it could be shaky. They'd have to handle that well. Tom's trilogy will possibly end with him retiring or becoming a mentor figure. I'd like to see him get a happy ending. I think Peter suffers too much in adaptation and the comics. Like, man needs a break. Not necessarily they can do whatever the comics do where Miles and Peter have separate stories for the most part. They could do, but I feel like you have to move one of them out of New York. And it could work. Or you could just have Peter retire. You know? You could. But which Spider-Man we are getting since movie got greenlit? Is it Gwen or is it Jessica Silk? Who could it be? So Spider-Woman is meant to be Jessica Drew. This is meant to be Spider-Gwen. And this is Silk. So that's sort of the... What's Spider-Woman going to be about? We've got no idea. We don't know much about the film at all, other than Olivia Wilde is attached to direct. We don't even know if she still is. But last we heard, that was what it was. Thomas said that he doesn't want his Peter to die. Has he said that? Oh, I didn't know he said that. Okay, well, maybe that'll be the case then. Do you think Sadie Sink is Gwen in Spider-Man Brand New Day or someone else? And who do you think, or who do you want it to be? I think I want Sadie Sink to be Carly Cooper, straight up. Because I think Carly Cooper's an interesting character that doesn't get talked about enough. And it would make the most sense. And I think having a brand new love interest for this character would, or having a new co-star, should I say, not necessarily a love interest, because she doesn't have to be just the love interest. That's not, her character will be more interesting than that. But having her be Carly Cooper, for example, would be really interesting. And then obviously she could go on to become a forensic scientist or a police detective or something. And I think that's really interesting. And we haven't seen that before, that dynamic in a Spider-Man movie between Peter and a significant other or a best friend. Right? We've seen it with George Stacy twice, but we've never seen it, we've never seen that relationship with like a college student. Or so I don't know. I am excited to see. I don't think she'll be Gwen. I'd like her to be Carly Cooper. I think she'll be Carly Cooper, but I also kind of think they'll do a Mayday Parker. I don't know why. It just makes the most sense to me. I really don't see the Home trilogy as his origin story. His origin story happened off screen, and he did refer to it in Cap 3. We also know Uncle Ben exists. Yeah, no, I mean, it depends how you define origin story. Spider-Man, brand new love, says Danilo. Yeah, maybe that's the case. A live-action Miles is S tier. Right, okay. Live-action Miles Morales. Customs already said S tier. I'm gonna go. We know, first of all, we know a live-action Miles Morales is happening, by the way. This has been confirmed by Sony Pictures. However, it's not happening until after Beyond the Spider-Verse, so it's a very long, long way away. But it is confirmed, and I imagine it'll connect to Tom's movies somehow. I'm going to put it S tier. It'd be cool. Tom's feet. Marcy Kane. That is a niche character, Ahmad. Very niche character. Very, very niche. I'm going to put live action Miles top of A. I can't put it in S. The reason I put it in A is because the hype's off the scale for this, without a doubt. The hype is unbelievably off the scale for Beyond the Spider-Verse. The issue I have with a live-action Miles Morales is that it has to live up to Beyond the Spider-Verse. It has to live up to Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, and Beyond the Spider-Verse. Right? And no doubt, when we get to a live-action Miles Morales movie, we will get there. And when we get there, no doubt people will compare. Because in my opinion, Into the Spider-Verse is quite possibly the perfect adaptation of Miles Morales from comic to big screen. Right? Does anyone disagree? I don't think there'll be many people that do. So, this movie will have a lot to live up to. And I'm not confident that it could. I just don't know. Yeah. Well, no, it could. It definitely could. It could be fantastic in its own right. But I think the way that Tom Holland... Here's my example, right? The way Tom Holland's Spider-Man is compared to Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire will be what... And mark my words. Clip this, by the way. Mark my words, because I guarantee this happens. The way that happened to Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be exactly what happens to the live-action Miles Morales when it comes out. People are going to compare him to the Into the Spider-Verse, Across and Beyond the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. Instantaneously. And people are going to complain when he's not the same. Or when something's slightly different. I guarantee. It's just it's in our nature as fans. We've done it with Tom. And yes, arguably, some parts of Tom Holland's character are weaker. Some are better. But it's going to happen with this version of Miles Morales. Because Into the Spider-Verse was such a great adaptation, they are gonna have to change things. They're gonna have to change things to make it different, or else it's just a repeat. And people don't want a repeat. We've seen a perfect Miles Morales origin story in the movies already. In a very popular movie as well, Into the Spider-Verse. Very well, did very well, not at the box office initially, but once it was critically acclaimed, became a classic. And was revolutionary for animation as well. It put itself on the map. Into the Spider-Verse did. And Miles Morales has got to live up to that in the live-action movies. That's a tall order. And I think they're going to have to change things to make it different, to make it fresh, to make it new. Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. So for me, it's A, unfortunately. I would like to put it in S, but for me, it's A. So I don't know. Let me have a look. I've missed a few comments. Let me have a look. Do you think they'll have live-action Miles Morales be a legacy character like in the comics, or make him OG Spidey of the Sonyverse with no mention of Peter? Says Barry. I'm sort of 80-20 split on it. I think Sony are very impatient, and I think if Kraven was successful, I think if the Venom movies were more critically successful, and I think if Madam Web was successful, I 100% believe wholeheartedly in my heart that Miles Morales would already be a live-action Spider-Man in the Sonyverse. That or Andrew Garfield would have connected to it. And I'm glad that's not happened, because I think 80% of me is telling me, my gut feeling is telling me that I think Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios, are trying to just get Sony to hold out on using Miles in live action. They're probably telling him, listen, Tom's going to be gone soon. And this deal's been successful. We've had two $1 billion movies. Well, one was a $2 billion movie. We've had two movies reach over $1 billion in the box office. That's success, right? If we can continue that, but with Miles Morales with this same deal, we're on for a winner for at least another 10, 20 years. Because we could get 6 movies out of that. So if I'm Kevin Feige in Marvel Studios, I'm going, just wait, Sony. Don't use Miles in live action yet. Just wait. Wait until Tom's done, and we'll introduce Miles, and we'll carry on for another 20 years. And then we'll get Mayday Parker. It's great, right? So, you know, it's a win-win. We're going to be here for another 40 years. Another 40 years of LewisFilms. Great. Let's do it. It's true, though. It's going to happen. That's my gut feeling anyway. That's my gut feeling. I don't know if you guys agree. That's my gut feeling. As long as they don't keep delaying it, says Coolman. It's gonna have a street level multiversal. I think the director will determine my excitement for this movie, says Ahmad. That's very fair. Whenever Miles gets introduced in a live action, I think he'll be great. But not better than the Spider-Verse films. Animation does things better, in my opinion. That's fair. Is Sony making movies that are connected to the MCU besides animation? Sony is not making movies connected to the MCU, no. The only movies that Sony have made in the MCU are the Spider-Man movies at this point in time. They almost did, though, with Venom. He was almost a part of the MCU. Yeah. A part of me thinks so. After Secret Wars, and they do the whole combining the universes thing, a part of me thinks, could they get Tom Hardy in the MCU? Like, full-time? And that could be a part of the Sony deal. I'm just putting it out there. Do you reckon that could be a thing? But anyway, that's the tier list. I wasn't expecting Spider-Woman to be at the bottom, but when we break it down, do you guys agree with the list? So we got Beyond the Spider-Verse and Brand New Day at the top, obviously. Miles Morales and Silk in A. Spider-Noir, Spider-Gwen, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, and Spider-Man 3 in B. These two, it seems kind of low, but when you put it, yeah. And then Spider-Woman in C. Nothing in D, which is good, because it means, you know, if we had another Sonyverse movie, if El Muerto was still here, that's going in D, straight away. Just saying. Hypno Hustler, all that's going in D. Yeah, maybe after Spider-Man 6, they should introduce Miles, and then when Peter dies or retires, you can also have Mayday introduced later on if they get Peter to get married to MJ. Yeah, exactly. If Zendaya's MJ and Peter end up getting married and doing that whole happily ever after at the end of Spider-Man 6, you can just have them have a baby, let Miles do his trilogy, and then just have Mayday pop up 10 years down the line, and bing, bam, boom, you've got another 20 years after Miles is done with Mayday Parker. When did they confirm an MCU Silk movie? Oh, it's not MCU, sorry. Yeah, I got the logos for this thing off Google Images. And, bro, people put... This is a gripe I have. Behind-the-scenes gripe, right? You guys are getting behind-the-scenes exclusivity right now. When I prepare for these sorts of live streams, I obviously have to get the logos from Google Images, right, to make the tier list. Every single man and his dog loves putting the Marvel Studios logo on top of everything, even when it's not Marvel Studios. This would be Sony. Yeah, this is the actual logo for Spider-Noir, so that didn't have it. But This does. This does. This does. Oh, well, I guess this would, to be fair, because that probably would be Marvel Studios. But you get my point, right? Do you think the rumored animated Venom movie will have Spidey since it won't need to worry about... I didn't put that on here. I forgot to put that on here. Oh, wow. I forgot to put Spider-Punk and the Venom one. Venom would definitely go in A. I'm gassed for that, if that happens. That's misleading, says Cool Man. It is! I think it'll have Spider-Man. I think it's going to be very comic accurate. It'll have Spider-Man to some degree. But either way, with that said, that is the tier list. That is pretty much the tier list. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the tier list. Any more questions in the chat before we wrap up the stream and call it a day? Also, I've got a video coming out tomorrow, by the way, just to let you guys know about the villains in Brand New Day. So it's a good video, I think. So yes. But any more questions, just let me know. If not, we'll wrap the stream up. We'll wrap it up. Another good stream. A few technical difficulties in the beginning, but we got there. We got there in the end. Silk already exists in the MCU, so it's possible. She does, actually. Yes, Cindy Moon already does exist in the MCU, so I guess it is possible. What inspired you to start this channel, says Danilo? It's a good question. The name LewisFilms actually comes from LucasFilms. Lucasfilm, should I say. Because Lucasfilm obviously made Star Wars. Originally, this was a Star Wars channel to begin with. And I made it because of Lucasfilm. Slowly just transitioned into Spider-Man. Well, actually, I went to like DC stuff first. I went to like the Flash and the CW stuff, and then I went to Spider-Man. Yeah. That's what inspired this channel. Literally, I wanted to make videos about you know, pop culture and Star Wars and stuff. And I thought, oh, LewisFilm. Ha, there we go. That was literally the thought process, and that was it. Yeah, that was the inspiration. I just wanted to make videos about pop culture. But either way, thank you guys for watching the tier list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Do you think Tom is filming for Doomsday on his break? Oh, good question. I don't know. Yeah, you know, maybe. I think it's entirely possible. Definitely. I definitely think it's entirely possible. Because they would lie about that. Do you think we'll see flashbacks of Peter in the Void in Brand New Day, and we'll see Ben dying? That could be... That maybe, yeah. Well, I think it would be more Aunt May. Because I think that will tie to his character arc in Brand New Day. I don't think it'll be Uncle Ben. It wouldn't make much sense for this version of the character. I know people still want Ben to be a big part, but we're too far gone now. There's no point. It's Aunt May. Aunt May's the responsibility thing. You know, she ties to his responsibility lesson now. That's his tie to that. It's Aunt May. So yeah. Can't wait till we get a cosmic Spider-Man movie, like a oh, what's his name? Yeah, oh no. Oh, what's his name? Why have I completely forgotten the cosmic Spider-Man's name? That's really bad. They should make a movie about him. Any new stuff for Lewis Fiction? Those videos are fire, says Jam. Thank you very much for the compliment. Unfortunately, no. I think that channel is dead in the water. For now, because I have another job, and I can't make videos for like 3. Captain Universe, thank you, Ahmed. I can't make videos for like 3 channels at once, like I used to. So I've kind of just sort of congregated back to LewisFilms, and I'm sort of just on here. And I think if I can just put all my effort that I do have into one channel, then that's where I'm going to go, essentially, I think. All right, man, great tier list. Thank you, cool, man. I genuinely don't know if Ben ever existed in this unit. He definitely did. He definitely did exist. It's just I don't think he was as influential as Aunt May is. And people don't like that, and I'm not a big fan of that. But I think for what we've got, I think it's done fine. What about Aunt May when she said the responsibility quote? He said, yeah, I know, which is because he's heard it. Yeah, it's because he's heard it before, but obviously whatever we get in Brand New Day is going to stem from No Way Home. Peter's character arc wise, and I imagine Aunt May's going to be a big part of that. So the whole responsibility thing, I think, is going to come from that speech instead of the one Uncle Ben said, which is why I say that Aunt May has more relevance. I miss content on your separate channels. I miss making it, you know. I miss making it. If I could go full-time on YouTube again, I'd do it. And sup Lewis, I'm late. Hi Eddie, how we doing? If I could go full-time on YouTube again, I'd do it, and I'd bring it back. I really would. I'd bring back the content for all channels. Too late. I'm sorry, Eddie. We did finish, but we are just talking. Do you think Spidey 6 will be about Sinister 6 or Null? Probably not. Well, it could be about Null. They could do King and Black. I don't know. It depends, right? Sinister 6 could be a shout. LewisFilms Plus didn't even last that long. I know, right? LewisFilms Plus. I was really excited about that. That was doing quite well, and then yeah, it just sort of died, right? Spider-Man has been pretty uninvolved in the greater MCU since Endgame. Far From Home to Brand New Day all seems to just be a linear story without too much MCU influence. Brand New Day will probably lead into Doomsday, though. Yeah, definitely. Are you excited for Doomsday? Well, if we were going to go back to this tier list, I'd put Doomsday probably in B, if I'm being honest. Because, you see, hear me out. There's just too much going on. All the backtracking with Kang. How exactly this calls street level? What, Brand New Day? I think Brand New Day will be street level. Yeah, I don't know. Doomsday, I'm not. I think I'm going to have to see more before I get excited about it. What if Sadie Sink is Peter's daughter? But not from a different universe. But from the future. She's the daughter of Peter and Zendaya's MJ, which would give hope to Peter to get back with MJ again. That's definitely not going to happen. Interesting theory. Would be quite cool if they did that. But they haven't cast a... but they've cast Sadie Sink, who's white. So, you know, obviously that doesn't make much sense. That's why I think if she is Mayday, if she is Peter and MJ's daughter, it's probably from the Tobey and Kirsten Dunst universe. It's probably from the Raimi universe. That's all I'm thinking on that. Would be a good story, though, if I'm being honest. Would be quite cool. Eddie Raymond says, overstuffed. It's going to be street level. Just because it's overstuffed doesn't mean it's going to be street level. I think it's because we're seeing all these villains. Like Rhino, and we're seeing Boomerang, and we're seeing Tarantula, and all these different villains be teased. And everyone's going, oh my god, it's going to be overstuffed. I think they're all just going to be in a montage at the start. Would you want Matt Gargan as Venom? Yes, Cham. Yes. Yes. Matt Gargan Venom. Yes, Matt Gargan Venom. That's where we need to go. Hopefully we get a Brand New Day teaser sometime next year. Maybe she dyed her hair. She hasn't dyed her hair. She's been spotted with ginger hair on set in London, which is what makes me think she's Carly Cooper, possibly. Very disappointed Black Cat. We don't. Yeah, I know we don't get Black Cat adaptations. Sadie Sink being Chameleon would be fire. Oh, you know what? Forgot to say, but I had a dream about Brand New Day last night, and all I remember is that it sucked. Oh, Ahmad, I'm hoping that's not a telling for the future. Boomerang and Tarantula will be a flashback at the beginning of the movie. That's my theory. Yeah, so the theory goes, well, the leak goes, should I say? It's not a theory. The leak goes that what they filmed in Glasgow is going to be right at the start of the movie, and it's a montage of Peter fighting. Well, it's not everything they filmed in Glasgow. It's some of the stuff they filmed in Glasgow. And it's going to be a montage of Peter fighting villains in the past 3 years. So from the end, right the way up from the end of No Way Home, in that little Christmassy bit, all the way to the beginning of Brand New Day is going to be a montage of Peter fighting the likes of Boomerang, Tarantula, the Rhino. Tombstone has been thrown in there as well. Hammerhead. So that's the rumor right now. That is the rumor. Do you see Flash becoming Agent Venom by the end of the new trilogy? You know, actually, I do. Yeah, I do. I can see this happening. Boomerang, yeah, I read that one. We're never getting Black Cat in live action, bro. I know. It's a 3-year time skip. That means he's like 2021 now. Yeah, it does. Yeah, he's gonna be. Peter's gonna be early 20s, I think, or he's gonna be 19. 19 to 21, I think, is the age we're looking at. I heard Alan Ritson is casting as Venom / Sabretooth in the future. Oh, okay. Tombstone and Hammerhead getting off screen. Basically, yeah. It's going to be a montage. We know that it's pretty much nailed on that Rhino's in this movie as well. It's been spotted. We haven't had set photos, but there's been a leak that in London they were filming with an animal sort of outline in a chase sequence, and Rhino is like the only. Rhino is basically the only character that you do a chase sequence with Spider-Man, or like the most popular, should I say? He's not the only one, but he's the most popular. That's an animal based. You could do Scorpion, I guess, but I don't know. You know, Michael Mando wasn't there. Who's the main villain? I'm so curious. I don't know. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Actually, who do you guys think is the main villain of Brand New Day? I don't think it's Scorpion. I think Scorpion's going to be on more of a. I think Scorpion is going to be more of like an overarching villain of the trilogy. I think he'll be more of a henchman in. He'll be more of a henchman in Brand New Day, and that kind of vibe. And I think you'll you know the beginnings will start to come in, and then I think he'll get the symbiote in 5, and possibly 6. I think he'll be Venom. Sounds sinister, says Cham. I hate Chase of Goose. It's more likely going to be Mr. Negative, I think. I think it's Mr. Negative. I still think it's Mr. Negative, even with people saying he's not in the movie. I don't believe them. I think it's Mr. Negative. Unless Scorpion is the main villain, and the inner demons are in this movie, and that sort of connects to Mr. Negative in 5, maybe. But I definitely think Mr. Negative's in here. Do you ever think they're afraid of using Black Cat because of Catwoman in Batman? Maybe. I don't see the home trilogy as origin. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's the origin for this trilogy, but I don't think it's his actual origin. But either way, anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's been an awesome stream again. Streaming next week on Saturday should be. If not, I will let you guys know in the community tab. So make sure to stay tuned. But thank you guys for watching. It's been an awesome stream once again. There is your list. That's the new show. There's your list. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next. Well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the video because there's a video coming out, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.